What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 9 of Football Talk. That's right. I'm coming at you on Thursday, 24th of October. We are exactly a week away from Halloween, and we are exactly 1 day away from the release of Batman Arkham Origins. If you've not picked up the game or not pre-ordered it, by the time that you have listened to this, then there's something wrong with you. If you've not played the other two games, there's something wrong with you. Go out there, play Batman, be happy. I'll be joined later by none other than my partner in crime, Kyle, and he will set the stage for the NBA season that starts next Wednesday on ESPN. Also, just a heads up and shout out to him as well. We got Hell in a Cell coming up this Sunday night on pay-per-view. CM Punk and everybody else like that. John Cena makes his return. Gonna be great pay-per-view. Order it, only about $45, so get it. Watch it, be awesome. If you like wrestling. If not, then stick to us because we are mainly football. And speaking of football, we're going to go right into the scores from this past week. Seattle took down the Cardinals of Arizona in Glendale last Thursday night on NFL Network, 34-22. Game was actually pretty good. Russell Wilson had a pretty good game, and it was just a good day all around. Other than Carson Palmer, it was a good day all around. On Fox, Falcons picked up their second win of the season, improving to 2-4 over the Buccaneers, who dropped to 0-7. Actually, it's 0-6. One of the two. I think it's one of the two. But Falcons, they win. They are 0-6. They win 31-23. So a big day for the Falcons and Matt Ryan. Packers took care of business against the Browns at home, taking out the Browns. Taking out Cleveland 31-13. No shocker there. Everybody stepped up and did their job, and Rodgers had a big day like usual. Eddie Lacy had a big day too. Cincinnati won on a field goal by a Nugent field goal, actually, over the Detroit Lions, 27-24 as time expires. And Buffalo also won basically as time expired, 23-21 over Miami. So some big shockers right there. But probably the biggest shocker in overtime was actually not one of the bigger shockers, but a shocker that I liked. In overtime, the Jets took out the Patriots 30-27 on a field goal by Nick Folk after a penalty cost the Patriots about 10 yards worth of kicking distance for Folk, who is perfect on the season to do his job and do it well. Dallas took care of the Eagles, basically clipping their wings and beating them 17-3. Chicago lost on the last possession for Washington, 45-41. The Redskins take down the Bears. I was not mad at that whatsoever. St. Louis played the Carolina Panthers in a brutal game. Not really like to the fact of where people were dying, but people got hurt. There was fights. It's very dirty, but Carolina took them down 30-15, and it was pretty steady. And no shocker right here, San Diego and Jacksonville. They went into Jacksonville and beat the Jaguars 24-6. No shocker there again. And the 49ers have Jacksonville this week, and we'll see how that plays out. Tennessee and San Francisco. San Francisco went into Tennessee and beat the Titans 31-17. It was actually a pretty good game. Good all around on both sides. Next game, Houston, with Casey Keenum at the helm, took on the Kansas City Chiefs in the Arrowhead and lost 17-16. So the Chiefs stay undefeated, but Casey Keenum shows that he's probably going to be a player in the NFL at this point. And then a classic game, as always, between the Steelers and Ravens went down this weekend as the Pittsburgh won by 3 points, winning 19-16 over the Ravens team that doesn't really look too good right now, as the Bengals are sitting at the top of that division for the first time, I think, since 2009 or 10 at this point. Probably the biggest shocker and probably the best thing for me this weekend. Indianapolis took down Denver and snapped the winning streak of Denver, and Indianapolis won 39-33. Andrew Luck proved that he's one of the best in the NFL. Not elite, but he's definitely top 10 at this point. So took down Denver. I was happy, very happy at that fact, and I was intrigued to see how well he would do against that defense, who's very overrated. That defense is very overrated, and Luck proved everybody wrong, and did not prove me wrong. And on Monday Night Football, who still got 13 million views, even though it was a crappy game. The Giants scored first, like I said they would probably do, and they won the game 23-7 as Josh Freeman was thrown up to the Wolves and basically said, "Here, you've only known this whole system for about a week now, so we're gonna let you run it in a real game situation," which was a big mistake. I don't agree with that at all. He needs at least one more week to kind of see what's going on. All right, so switching gears over to the NCAA for this weekend's matchups. Nothing really is happening in the ACC. Probably the only game to really kind of watch out for is NC State and FSU. I think NC State may run the table with them and possibly go toe-to-toe. I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a lot closer to go, but I think Florida State will win that game. Florida State over the Wolfpack, sadly, as I have to say that. Hopping over to Big 12 football, probably the most intriguing matchup of the entire weekend for this conference is Texas Tech and Oklahoma. It was a shocker that Texas Tech almost got beat by West Virginia last week, and Texas Tech has to go into Oklahoma. So I'm picking the Sooners to win this game. I think Oklahoma may win this game, and honestly, basically make them lose their first game, make the Red Raiders lose their first game. I think Oklahoma, I think they could probably beat them. But again, if Texas Tech wins, I won't be surprised. But I know they won't be going into any kind of I don't think they have a shot at the national championship game, especially if they play at Alabama. I think Alabama would run them out of the building if they had to play Texas Tech. But I think Oklahoma will win this game. I think it'll be a good game, honestly. The Big Ten football, only about 4 games in the Big Ten this weekend. Probably the only one to really look at, I would say, and this is probably my pick. It's maybe one of the only picks that I can really make out of this conference this week is Ohio State hosts Penn State on ABC, 8 o'clock. It's prime time, and I think that man, this is tough. I think Ohio State will win the game. Ohio State will win the game by a field goal as time expires. Again, the Nittany Lions have nothing to lose this year. Nothing at all to lose. Their only losses came at Indiana and I believe at UCF. They have nothing to lose. I think Penn State will probably beat them. I could see them beating them if they win. I will be so elated because I'm a big Penn State fan. And I will be hilariously laughing at all the Ohio State fans. But I'm picking Ohio State to win just because I picked Michigan to win, and we all know what happened there. So Ohio State will win by a field goal at the end of regulation. Or Penn State will win in double overtime, or Ohio State will run them out of the building. Those are the 3 instances, but I think Ohio State will win by a field goal at the end of regulation. So that's what I say on that. Tennessee heads into Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama. I think this game will be actually really close. It'll be a lot closer than people think, but I think Alabama will win after everything is said and done. Alabama wins this game. I'd say probably by a touchdown. Maybe even in overtime, but Alabama will win. South Carolina takes on the number 5 team in the country, the Missouri Tigers. That's a big shocker right there. I think that a lot of people weren't expecting Mizzou to really do anything this year, but I know one person that was, and that would be Kyle. Kyle knew they'd be pretty good this year, and I'm picking Missouri to win this game, just because I think that South Carolina is not as strong as they once were, and I think Mizzou owns that Eastern Conference at this point, Eastern part of the SEC Conference. I think Mizzou wins by a touchdown. So let's see. That's just what I think. But there's some Pac-12 matchups that are actually going to be really good this weekend. I'm really surprised. UCLA on 7 o'clock on ESPN takes on Oregon, the number 3 team in the country, who got jumped by Florida State. UCLA and Oregon, this will be a good matchup. I think Oregon will win, but I would not be surprised if UCLA kind of gives them a scare. I can see UCLA giving them a scare, but I think Oregon will probably win by about 2 touchdowns. And the other matchup to kind of look at in the Pac-12 this weekend is Stanford and Oregon State. I think Oregon State will play them very good. Their quarterback's a beast. Oregon State's quarterback, I forgot his name. I can see his face, but I just remember his name. Oregon State, I think, will run the table, but I think Stanford wins in the end, number 6 team in the country. I think they show that they deserve that ranking. I think they will. I think they will prevail. So I just think that they're just an exceptionally good team. Especially after that loss, they bounced back nice, and they really kind of showed why they are still considered one of the better schools in the country. Boise State plays BYU this weekend. Mountain West Conference matchup. That's actually tomorrow night on ESPN, 8 o'clock. I want to call BYU winning this game just because they're at home against a very game Boise State team. And I think that the Cougars will win by maybe 3 points in the end. But I think it will be a good game. I don't think it will be a blowout on either side. San Diego State plays Fresno State, number 17 team in the country. I think Fresno State wins this game just because they are dominant at this point in the year. Let's see. Georgia Southern and Appalachian State, probably one of the best rivalry games. I said about the Wofford game between Georgia Southern and them, but Georgia Southern and Appalachian State, this is pure hatred among both sides. And they're in Appalachian State this year. Appalachian State's 1-6, which you never see. It means it's a down year for them. Georgia Southern's 4-2. They've already had like 2 bye weeks, I think. And so I want to call Georgia Southern winning this one in App State against a pretty bad defense. The offense there is actually pretty good, honestly. But I think Georgia Southern wins this game, honestly. And then over from my school, Northern Alabama, the Lions take on the Valdosta State Blazers. And I'm going to be at this game. I'll probably be giving you some live tweets throughout the game. But I think Valdosta State will probably declaw the Lions. Probably by a touchdown. I'm gonna be so excited if they beat them because they're one of our rivals. And it'll be a good game. Good game indeed. So let's see. Sorry, my throat's really dry. Okay. Let's see. Connecticut takes on UCF on ESPN3 Saturday afternoon. Connecticut will probably get their butts kicked because UCF is 5-1, they're 0-6, and UConn's just been terrible this year. That's usually not used to saying that for a Husky team. It's actually pretty good sometimes, but I think UCF will win. It'll win big. All right, so those are my picks for the NCAA weekend. There's not really that many good games this weekend on anything, really. Even in the NFL, they're not very good. But tonight on NFL Network, Carolina heads into Tampa Bay to face a 0-6 Tampa Bay team that's actually on the brink of possibly winning their first game. As Cam Newton says, you cannot take advantage of this team because they are just that deadly and they are just that good. But Carolina, Cam Newton's rolling. They have a great team. Their defense is very good. I'm going to say the Panthers will win this game in Tampa Bay just based on Newton's performance recently. Let's see. Cleveland and Kansas City play. Cleveland goes into Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs. I think that the Chiefs will pretty much blow them out, much like the Packers did last week. I think it will probably be about a 3-touchdown win for them. I think if they score twice, if it goes up to 14-0 in the first quarter, then they're done. First half at that. If the Chiefs go up 14-0 on the Browns in the first half, then the Browns are done. Miami heads into Foxborough to take on the Patriots. Patriots coming off that devastating loss to the Jets, I think will bounce back. But I think Miami will give them a scare as Brady throws another interception and no touchdowns. If he does throw a touchdown this game, then they will win. If he doesn't, they will lose. I think Miami will take advantage of that beaten up defense. But I think New England will probably win in the end, honestly. I think New England will win. Buffalo heads into New Orleans to take on the Saints. Now, this is intriguing because a lot of people say that Buffalo can't win on the road, but they won on the road last week. I'm going to say that Buffalo gives the Saints a scare, and Garrett Hartley has to hit a field goal for the Saints to stay 5-1, basically. So they have to go. He has to hit a field goal for them to go 6-1 this week. That's just how I look at it, honestly. The Giants head into Philadelphia. Giants coming off their first win of the season against the Vikings. The Eagles are a very good offense and not that good of a defense. They met previously, I think it was about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, they met, and the Philadelphia won in MetLife. So I'm thinking that I think Philadelphia will win this game again, unless if the Giants score first again, then they will win the game. That's how they are going to be this season. I can just already tell. That's how they will be. Let's see. Pittsburgh heads in to Oakland to take on the Raiders. Pittsburgh coming off their second straight win. I think Pittsburgh will pick up the third win again. I think Pittsburgh is starting to hit that kind of groove, and apparently Mike Tomlin went in there and chewed him out for 2 weeks and just kind of said, "You guys are going to start winning, or you guys are done and gone at this point." So yeah, I'm gonna pick Pittsburgh to win over the Raiders. I think Raiders will play them good. I think it may come down to a field goal or maybe 6 points. But I think Pittsburgh will walk away with their third straight win and go to 3-4 on the season. Washington heads out to Sports Authority Field, take on the Denver Broncos. I think Denver's going to win this game just because Peyton will want to win after losing. I think he'll be kind of upset about it. And, I think that he needs to win again for to kind of be like, hey, this is who I really am. I don't really want to be put into that situation where I can't win a game anymore. So I think they will win just because they need it to really they need it to stay on pace with the Chiefs at this point, honestly, in that division. We'll see what happens. I think it's next week they play each other. I'm going to check on that here in a second. Is that when the Chiefs and the Broncos play each other? No, I think it may be week 10. The Chiefs and Broncos play each other one of these weeks, and it will be a great game. I think actually maybe week 11. But so you guys may be wondering, after I talk about this next one, Seattle heads basically into the central of the country to take on the St. Louis Rams on ESPN Monday Night Football. I think the Seahawks they'll win this game just because I think that St. Louis can't do anything on offense, and I think it will probably be a pick six heaven for Richard Sherman and those cornerbacks and for that defense in general. I think Seattle's defense scores about 2 touchdowns and Seattle's offense scores about 2 touchdowns. So I'm going to say they win by a 3-touchdown victory for Seattle on Monday Night Football. And you guys may be wondering, where's the Jacksonville, Arizona, Dallas, and Bengals game? Well, I'm going to bring in Kyle to kind of help me pick what's going to happen in those games. But yeah, I think that Denver needs to win just to stay kind of like with their egos in the right spot. And I think Seattle will beat the Rams pretty much down to oblivion. I think they own that division at this point, and I can't wait for them in San Francisco to meet back up and see what happens because that's going to be a great matchup because it really will decide who wins that division, just between those two. Packers game, I didn't actually pick the Packers game. What am I doing? I'll pick the Packers game with Kyle. How about that? Hello, Kyle. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So we actually have 5 games to pick because I forgot to pick the Packers game during the actual thing. So, but we'll start with the Jacksonville game. Jacksonville and San Francisco. Who you got in this game?
Well, if I could ever make an argument for Jacksonville, I will. But I can't. But Jacksonville coming off a game they could have won and they had a chance to, but at the same time, it's just this team has a legit shot at now going 0-16. And I mean, the Niners have now come around to be one of those full group teams. I mean, Gore, they couldn't stop Brian Matthews or Danny Woodhead. How in the world did they could stop Frank Gore?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that defense is actually pretty good though. It's just they have like no offensive power.
But at the same time, it's an improving defense. Young defense. But Niners are going to roll here. Kaepernick to have a big day. Anquan Bolton to get in the end zone and Gore to get in twice.
Yeah, I see San Francisco killing them, and I'm glad I have their defense on fantasy. So
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So I think San Francisco will win. If they don't win this game, then I don't know what the heck is wrong with San Francisco. Like, they will be the laughing stock. It's like whenever the Bengals got beat by San Francisco I think it was back in '08. They got beat by them, and that was when San Francisco sucked. So it'd be kind of like that because San Francisco was terrible and the Bengals were good, and so this is kind of like the same thing. My dad and I were actually driving up to Virginia that weekend. They lost, and there was a guy on a sports radio. He was like, "The Bengals suck. They got beat by the 49ers. How can you even do that?"
Or it could be like the Packers listen to that Chiefs, that undefeated Packers team listen to that pitiful Chiefs team. Yeah.
Still with 15-1, and we've actually won a Super Bowl in the last 20 years. So, you want to start doing that, Kyle? We can do that right now.
I'm good.
Yeah. Well, actually, bringing up the Packers, how about that? Packers and Vikings playing on Sunday Night Football on NBC. I won't be watching it live because I'll be watching Hell in a Cell. I know you're doing the exact same thing. Yep. So, who do you think is going to win that game, Kyle?
Who do you think I'm going to pick? I think Ponder being back is going to help the Minnesota offense gel a little bit more, and this will not be a rout. This will actually be a very close game. I think Ponder is going to earn his starting job back. Very strong performance. But even a strong performance by him is not going to be enough to beat this Packers team. This Packers team seems to be getting on a roll right now, even without the likes of James Jones. James Jones actually expected to be back this weekend. Practice today in full pads. Randall Cobb's still out, but Jarrett Boykin has emerged. Is ridiculous. Finley's out, but another guy will step up. Jordy Nelson, James Jones returning in a big way. Defense finds a way to contain Adrian Peterson. It stops the passing game. Packers by touchdown.
Yeah, I think that it will actually be kind of close. I think Peterson's going to have a better game than people think, but I'm also not going to say that because I don't want that to happen. But I think that Packers are going to win by 2 touchdowns in this, just because, one, there'll be a touchdown by the defense, and then they'll have a touchdown by the offense late in the game that will just put it away. I'd say Packers score the last points of the game, and that will put it away. It doesn't matter however many points they score, they will score the last points. So that's just what I think. And Packers, their defense has stepped up. It's definitely a different look defense, and I think they had so many holes the last couple of years that they seem to have filled them. I think they've changed up how they're playing a lot better, and I think this is probably one of our better defensive years that we've actually had. Not since we went to the Super Bowl, but I mean, actually, it is the best defense that we've had since we went to the Super Bowl. It's not Swiss cheese.
And that defense wasn't even statistically good.
Yeah.
So.
Next one on my list is Arizona heads into Atlanta to takes on the Falcons. Atlanta goes out?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, the Falcons head out west to take on Arizona in the Glendale Stadium. Glendale Cardinals, University of Phoenix, whatever you want to call it. Everybody calls it the same thing, but I tend to screw it up. So, so who you got in this one, Atlanta or the Cardinals?
Now, Atlanta proved last week against the game Buccaneers team, even without their primary weapons, they could still get the job done. Matt Ryan had a phenomenal game. But that's the Buccaneers defense. This is a different animal in the Arizona defense. Without Julio, and possibly without Roddy, and actually probably without Roddy, and with Patrick Peterson getting your cover of your best guy, how are they going to find a way to distribute the football?
I don't know. Tony G.
I mean, but there's only so much Tony G can do. So
poor guy.
I'm going with Arizona. I think Arizona steps up after a debilitating loss to the Seahawks at home. They step up at home, get a big W, and then bold prediction right here. The Falcons lose on Sunday and trade Tony Gonzalez on Monday.
God, I would cry.
Monday because the trade deadline being Tuesday, they will trade him to a contender to honor his receivables. They will honor his return and send him to a contender with a chance to win a Super Bowl.
Could you imagine the Packers getting Tony Gonzalez in the spot of Finley?
Could you imagine the Chiefs getting Tony Gonzalez?
I know, like they would love that. Like I would be happy with that. I mean, I'm okay with him going back to the Chiefs. Let him finish his career where he started it. So I'm gonna pick in this game. I'm gonna pick Arizona too, just because I watched that Falcons game last week and they almost gave it away. The one thing that I hate trying to pick Arizona is their offense can be really stupid and terrible. And what?
Very sputtery offense.
Yeah, and so
it depends on Palmer, really.
Yeah, but I don't think that I honestly don't think the cornerbacks of the Falcons can hang with Larry Fitzgerald at this point. So I think Arizona will win maybe by 3. But if the Falcons win by 3, it won't surprise me. But they will only win by 3 on a last-second drive like they did all last year. It will be a very close game. It really will. Yep. Dallas, do they host the Lions or do they go into Detroit?
They go to Detroit.
That's what I thought. So Dallas goes into Detroit to take on the Lions this week. Who you got? Of course you got. Never mind. Just say who you got.
It's going to be a tough game for the Cowboys defense because you have one of those guys that's just going to air it out, kind of like they had trouble with a guy that can just air it out like Peyton Manning. And they had trouble with an aspect such as Reggie Bush. But so do the Lions defense. And DeMarco Murray may play, and even if he doesn't, Miles Austin, Terrence Williams, Dez Bryant. And it's a battle of the 2 best receivers truly in the NFL right now between Dez Bryant and Calvin Johnson. So, but I think in this one, in this game, just because the strength of the Cowboys defense over the Detroit Lions, I think the Cowboys go in there. Tony Romo goes ballistic. Tony Romo will go for 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Cowboys win by 7 with a game-winning touchdown in the final minutes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who I'm actually going to pick in this game because.
You couldn't pick last week if you couldn't pick last week, and the Cowboys rocked the Eagles.
Yeah, I think the Lions will play them very tight, and Dallas will have to win on a oh my God.
It very well comes down to a last-second field goal.
Yeah, they're gonna have to get a field goal by Bailey. By Bailey to get anything. Just because I think that both defenses have a lot of weakness in the secondary, even though Terrence Newman's a beast. But I think that Stafford and Romo will throw for 300 each, 3 touchdowns each, and they will each have an interception. And whoever's interception, it will be one of those interceptions will cost the game for the other team. They will cost the game for their team. So that's how I'm going to say Dallas will win by Dan Bailey field goal at the end of the game. Only due to an interception either by Stafford or, that's just how it's going to play out. It's going to be a duel. It's going to be a good game, I think. Last time they met, they blew the lead and the Lions beat them. So 2 years ago.
I remember that.
So the Bengals head into MetLife to take on the Jets. The Jets coming off that huge win against the Patriots. Thank God. And who you got in this one, Kyle?
Now, Cincinnati's tough to beat at home. Cincinnati's always been tough to beat at home. And it showed that this season as they beat 3 technical. They beat New England and Green Bay there. Now, Pittsburgh's back on the uprise. But New York comes in there with a lot of confidence, and I am surprised whether they're playing the defense. That defense has a beat, and Geno Smith is playing with the offensive rookie of the year that he probably will be. Like I said before, the teams and Bengals will be at home. And the way the Bengals are playing right now, let's not discredit the way Dalton, they walked into Detroit last Sunday and got a huge W. AJ Green, everybody talks about, I love Dez Bryant. And I love Calvin Johnson, too. I think they're the 2 best receivers in the league. But you can throw AJ Green in that right now as well. Ever since coming out, he has just been a monster. So I'm going with the Bengals just because I think their offense will get to the Jets defense, and I think the defense will make enough big plays to step up. I mean, they lost their cornerback Leon Hall last week to an Achilles hurt, but they will find a way, and I think it's going to be guys like Ray Mataluga and Geno Atkins making plays down the stretch for the Bengals.
Yeah, they aren't at home, are they?
No, they are at home.
Okay, they're not at home, right?
It'll be Jets going to Cincinnati.
Oh, the Jets are going. Okay, I thought that's why I said the Bengals are going into MetLife. So the Jets are going to Cincinnati. Okay, well that kind of changes how I was going to look at this. I think that it will be a good game. It would be very close. I've said that a lot this week because there's a lot of games that you're kind of like they're actually going to be kind of close, even though there's some games that you're like there's no way. I think the Jets. I think Geno will leave a drive late to score enough points to put them up by 2, and then Nugent will hit another field goal for 3 straight wins off of last-second field goals for the Bengals. So I'm picking the Bengals to win, but I think that this will actually be probably because the Bengals have had two of the best games that I've seen all season the past 2 weeks. So I think it will be another great game. I think the Bengals are going. I think the Bengals will face the Colts in the AFC Championship game this year. Oh no, never mind. Sorry. I think the Bengals will get beat by the Chiefs in the divisional round, and then the Chiefs and Colts will probably play each other. That's just how it's looking right now. But I think the Bengals will win as they kind of look forward to basically taking a hold and basically owning that whole division. So, what are you doing?
I don't know. You got to hear my dog on this podcast. So.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so Kyle, it is now time for you to lay down the lumber of what this NBA season, that's right, NBA season will look like. We are going NBA right now. It's kind of weird since it is a football talk, but you know what? NBA starts next Wednesday, and we're pretty hyped up about it. So, Kyle, lay it down for us.
Now, this season, last year, it looked like the Heat still had a leverage over the rest of the field, and the rest of the field being everybody else in the NBA. This year, the field has caught up with the Heat. You got teams in the East, the Indiana Pacers, Chicago Bulls. There are teams that can compete, and there are teams in the West. And the West is going to, whoever comes out of the West is going to be battle tested. When you go into the playoffs in the West this year, it's going to be the equivalent of beating 4 video game boss battles, because that's how competitive the West is this year. But here we go. I'm going to start with the Eastern Conference. I think the number 1 seed out in the Eastern Conference this year will be the Miami Heat. They'll make it. They get a lot of home games, obviously. I think the Heat also can play it on the road. They got a great team. I think they get home field advantage. Not that it don't matter, but I do think the Heat played some of the questionable offseason acquisitions, such as Beasley and Oden. We'll see if they pay off. If they don't, they're in trouble. If they do, then full goal. So we'll see. But I do think the Heat will finish first in the East. I think right behind them is a team that's actually not getting as much credit as I thought they would the preseason. That's the Indiana Pacers.
Of course, they don't give anything to the Pacers.
And I think the Pacers took the Heat to 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals, but the thing that was holding them back, in my opinion, was their bench. This offseason, their bench now, Hansbrough's gone, but they brought in a very, very, very good backup guard, CJ. Got his name, but CJ. But Chris Copeland. They got a better bench. Chris Copeland's one of those guys that can just shoot the rock. He's going to be loved out there. They get Danny Granger back. You see the emergence of Lance Stevenson, as we saw last year. Lance Stevenson came in and lit up the NBA from that point in time. He's incredible. And I think the Pacers have a legit chance, a very, very, very good chance to overthrow the Heat and get that title.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the number 3 team in the East, people are not sold on it, but it will be, even without their bench is still going to be very solid. One can be the British Chicago Bulls. Derrick Rose in the preseason now, like I said, may not translate to the season, but he's looked incredible. He looked 100% coming off that ACL tear. And they've gotten guys like Dunleavy's there. Todd Gibson's gotten better. That starting 5, I would take that starting 5 over anybody in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
Rose, Jimmy Butler coming into his own. He's become an incredible player, especially defensively. You got the hard guys, the big tough guys, Boozer and Noah, fighting in the paint. I love Carlos Boozer. I love his game. And then on the bench, like I said, Taj Gibson, guys like Marcus T, guys like Cody Snell, who I hope gets a lot of time. But I think they finished third, and I consider them a threat to go out and win the East as well. Because Derrick Rose is a viable MVP candidate. And now moving on to my prediction for the number 4 team in the East, with good coaching, hopefully, it will be the Brooklyn Nets. And now, like I said, if the coaching comes together, that will be the key. But they got the talent. They absolutely have the talent to do it. With KG, Pearson, Terry coming over. People don't realize Terry's there as well. Terry's going to be that spot-up shooter off the bench. And that's what he was for the Dallas Mavericks, too, so that's going to be huge.
Yeah, and he has great chemistry with Jason Kidd, so.
Oh, absolutely. And then, mean, you look at DeRon Williams, guys like Andre Kirilenko, Joe Johnson. I mean, that's just if it all comes together and the chemistry is there with those guys, there's another team that can win East, and that's good for the city to see that team back in relevance. Good for them. My prediction for the number 5 team in the East is New York Knicks. Carmelo entering his final year of his contract. Let the speculation begin where he'll go next offseason. But the Knicks, the last year was their best year to date in a long time. Won their first playoff series in 2000, but then they lost to a Pacers team in 6. So, Melo, this is a big year for him, but unfortunately the East just got deeper. It's not good enough. I would like to see the Brooklyn New York playoff series to begin, but they just don't have the talent for some of those teams at the upper echelon of the East do. I mean, Tyson Chandler, very solid center, one of the best in the league. And Lawrence Stoudemire is not who Elon Shumpert's coming into his own. And it's still a viable point guard, but I just don't think, like I said, this team has the talent of a Brooklyn, of an Indiana, of a Chicago, or a Miami. That's why I had them 5th.
Yeah, and Melo already said he's going to test free agency, so.
I agree with that, man. Now it's to the bottom half of the East, like the top 5. This is the 5 teams, but the last year, the 6, 7, and 8 teams were Atlanta, Boston, and Milwaukee, respectively. Those 3 spots are wide open this year. And at the 6th spot, I think it's the team that got the most out of free agency this year with some big pickups, and that is the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think they make their return to the playoffs this season. Kyrie Irving, in his 3rd season, he's already been an all-star. He's an incredible player. He's going to be, and he's not even in his prime yet, so I can't wait to see this guy play this season. Deion Waiters coming in as the 2-guard position. A lot of those 3 positions will be pretty good. I mean, he's just one of those guys that's just there. He can shoot the ball, play good defense. Tristan Thompson in the post, off the bench or not, he's going to be huge. Switching to his right hand, he's predominantly left-handed, but he actually switched to his other hand in the off season. So I guess we'll see where that guy takes them. But and then you got to look at the guys like Anderson Varejao, number 1 overall pick, Anthony Bennett, and Andrew Bynum. Now that's the key. If Andrew Bynum come back and play at the level he was playing before he got hurt and before he went through all the debacle with the Philadelphia and LA, then that team, the ceiling is much higher than just 6. They could be 5th or 4th in the East if they could do that. But I don't know if that will happen, so that's why I have them at the 10th and 6th. And that will set up a nice first-round playoff series in my book with the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
7th in the East, I got the Washington Wizards. Depends on the health of Emeka Okafor, with Tom Ball's become a great player. Bradley Beal's becoming one of those 2 guards that can score on anybody in the league that guards him. Had an incredible preseason. It's going to depend on, they may go out and get a big man during the, I heard Al Horford make them there, help their hinder the Hawks to look in the playoffs. But I do think the Wizards, I think Wall is ready to make the next step and make them into the playoffs. And I will put this out. He will, for the shoes he will wear every game this season, he's writing playoffs on all of them. So that's his goal, and I think he's going to reach it. And then the 8th spot, I've been over this a couple times, but in the end, I do think the 8th spot, because I have the Hawks there, I'll put that in a minute, but I do think the Hawks make a trade during the regular season. So I'm going to go with the Toronto Raptors.
The Raptors, wow.
Kyle Lowry, coming into his own, is a very good striker. Rudy Gay, but got the talent on this team with Rudy Gay, guys like DeMar DeRozan, and others, and especially Terrence Ross off the bench, or he may be starting this year. It's going to be huge for the Raptors.
Tyler Hansbrough.
They won't be title contenders, but that'll be good to see a team like that in the playoffs. And that city, even through the bad times, right now they still sell out some games, and it's pretty incredible. So I think the Raptors I think those 3 teams, Cavs, Wizards, and Raptors, all make their returns to the playoffs this season, respectively.
That'd be pretty cool.
At 9, I'm going to go short because you've got Pistons. I think the Pistons have a lot of talent too. Brandon Jennings, Greg Monroe, Andre Drummond, and Josh Smith. I just don't know if that chemistry will fluctuate in year 1. It may be in year 2, but I think these guys, there's going to be a while with these guys because they have a lot of guys that want the ball constantly. Brandon Jennings, Josh Claxton.
Oh, God.
Josh Smith, such a jumper clank. But I don't see that them fluctuating that well. I really don't. So I got them at 9. I got the Hawks at 10. I do think the Hawks will deal either Al Horford or somebody like Paul Millsap during the regular season. I think that will hinder their chances of going anywhere. I think they're building for the future and trying to save money. But the thing is, with free agency in Atlanta, I don't know why anybody would want to come play here. That's a big star. So, guys like Teague are improving. Lou Williams is back. Kyle Korver, he needs about 3 and about 9 more games, and he'll set the NBA record for most games with most consecutive games with at least 1 3-pointer, which would be pretty cool. So, but the Hawks, new coach, new players. It's just going to be, it may be a long season for Hawks fans. Number 11, I got your Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
Now, Celtics, one of those teams that I think could rise up. I think the hire of Brad Stevens was on point. I think they still got good talent, especially when Rondo comes back. They may make a big move during the regular season. I think they may go after somebody and get a big trade and make that team better. But for now, I have them 11th in the East. I think, but like I said, I think their ceiling is a lot higher than the other guys like Jeff Green, the other guys that I think will step up in those in Boston.
Yeah.
I hope their Celtics do pretty good. 12th, I got the Bucks. Losing guys like Mark Ellis to Dallas, losing trading Brandon Jennings and getting Brandon Knight. Now, I don't know what possessed O.J. Mayo to sign there, but that's the only way I have 12. If they didn't have O.J. Mayo, they'd be much worse. So, but this is not a good year for the Bucks. They got the Hawks hold coach Larry Drew coming in, so I don't see them doing very well. Bobcats gradually improving. I have them at 13. Kemba Walker, those guys are finally coming up. It's the last year of the Charlotte Bobcats.
Yay.
And it will return the Hornets next season, and they're improving. But the Cody Zeller draft pick is a bust in my book. I don't think he's going to have it. I don't think any Zeller has it, especially in crunch time.
Oh.
But I think they have them at 13, and maybe next year they can improve. Got the Magic. Magic have a lot of young talent. I think they're another one of the teams that their ceiling could be much higher than where I have them. But the Magic, Bo Harkless, guys like Victor Oladipo, we'll see what Oladipo is made of, and guys like Deron Lamb, go Cats. But for now, I have them at 14 in a rebuilding process. And then I have what I think will be the worst team in the league, in the 76ers, 15th in the East. 76ers are going to be pathetic. Nerlens Noel may not play a game. They really don't have much talent. Evan Turner may get traded. This team is going to be, statistically, I'll tell you this right now, I don't know if I'll be right, they will win less than 15.
Less than how many?
They will win less than 15 games.
Good God. So the Cavaliers from a couple of years ago.
Well, it will be awful. This could be one of the worst NBA teams fielded in years. But playoff predictions for the East, Heat against the Raptors in round 1 against the Heat. Pacers over the Wizards. Bulls over the Cavs, and the Nets over the Knicks. So I think the top 4 advance there. Heat Nets, tough series. Heat take them. Bulls Pacers. Now this would just be. I would die to see that. Not really, but I would love to see that in a playoff series. And just think because the toughness and the defense. Both teams play defense, but I think the team that's going to be the best and has the most better interior presence is going to be the Pacers. I think the Pacers take down the Bulls. I think the Pacers actually take down the Heat. And I have the Pacers as your Eastern Conference champions this year.
Bold prediction. Bold prediction.
I think it's going to happen. And I'm moving on to the West. And the number one team in the West this year, I think, is the team that won it last year, and I think it's the San Antonio Spurs. You saw the emergence of guys such as Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green at the finals last year. And Tim Duncan still Tim Duncan. Manu Ginobili off the bench is still Manu Ginobili. And Tony Parker, people think, Tony Parker's old. He's only 30 years old, people. Tony Parker's still one of the best point guards in the league. And if he stays healthy for all this season, mark my words, he'll be in MVP contention. So, you'll see, and they got guys like Marco Bellinelli. In the offseason, that team's going to be better than they were. That's why they picked the top spot in the West this year. And that's where I have them. Number 2, Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, I just recently changed the pick because their bench is still very stagnant, but their bench is gradually improving. Durant and Westbrook will carry this team like they have most of the time. But Serge Ibaka, I think Kendrick Perkins moved to the regular season or off-season. I think they're trying to shop him. They want a better center, and then they bring in Steven Adams, rookie, to do that. But Ibaka steps up. Jeremy Lamb steps up. And they're going to be a huge player off the bench for Thunder. That's why I have them at 2. I don't know whether they'll go in the playoffs. Number 3, I got these Los Angeles Clippers. New coach, Doc Rivers, knows how to win. Won the NBA championship in 2008. New players, spot-up shooter that they had in the past that can just step up and knock down shots. Still got that bench. Still got incredible talent. I think they're still, like I said, the West. I have 6 teams in the West that can win that conference. So we'll get there. But Lob City, no longer their monster. They running gun up and down. They will be the best in Los Angeles this year, many years to come. Clippers will finish there. Chris Paul will win the MVP.
Wow.
Bold prediction. At 4, I got my Dub Nation. Dub Nation, I got the Warriors. Now, I was shocked as much as you were, Tyler, when Andre Iguodala signed with the Warriors.
Woo!
A Warriors team that went to 6 games against the San Antonio Spurs. Which, and they upset the Nuggets. Maybe the Nuggets weren't good to begin with, but Harrison Barnes emerged, guys, and Andrew Bogut returned to form. David Lee came back in and returned to form, but here's the thing. When you're going to have Iguodala in that lineup now, along with the super splash bros, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and then Harrison Barnes off the bench and David Lee and Andrew Bogut, guys like that, that team, I think they're still not giving them enough credit there. Their ceiling is very high. So, I have it at 4. I think Mark Jackson has done an incredible job as head coach, and I think a good 4 spot. At the 5 spot, I recently changed it. I got the Memphis Grizzlies in the 5 spot.
There you go.
I think the Grizzlies are one of those teams that's gritty, fight. Zebo, Zach Randolph, one of those guys that's just gritty and wants to fight all the time. And then you got guys like Marcus Small, guys like Mike Conley, guys. One of my favorite players in the league, Tony Allen, who just fights defensively and fights. That's one of the best defensive players in the league. But firing the removal of Lions would baffle me. And I think it'll take some adjusting to the system a little bit, but I think mid-season, maybe they'll adjust. Grizzlies will take the 5 spot. It'll match up with the Warriors in nice first-round series. 6 spot, I got the Rockets now. The Rockets are going to be so good. Dwight. First off, Dwight's not 100%, and it's stepped up the team. Now, will he be better at the system? Possibly. I don't know if the chemistry is going to be there immediately. It may come later in the season, but we'll see. I got the Rockets finishing 6th. I don't think they're sold on them completely, especially with Jeremy Lin running the point. So, Chandler Parks is coming to his own. Still not sold on him. 7th was recently changed.
Uh-oh.
I think 7th in the West will be the New Orleans Pelicans.
Holy cow.
Here's why.
Pelicans?
Yep, I think the Nuggets are going to miss the playoff.
Wow.
And I'll get to that in a minute. But Pelicans acquired Nerlens Noel is not going to be playing this season at all for one of the better starting point guards in the NBA for Holiday. They obviously won that deal. That's a huge pickup for them. And that's going to help them tremendously in the near future. Because you also got a guy like Tyreek Evans running the point. Not running the point, running the 3-point. Anthony Davis has put on a ton of muscle. Looked incredible. Phenomenal.
It's got owned by the Heat last night. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. But then Eric Gordon, there's the thing, I think Eric Gordon may get shopped during the season, but if he doesn't, I got the Pelicans at 7th. If they do, I still think they make the playoffs because I think they have the team this year. I think they got a lot of players that can just play and will go out there and fight. So I got them at 7th. And the number 8 spot in the West. Drum roll, please. The Portland Trailblazers.
There you go, baby.
And here's why. Guys like Damian Lillard, who stepped up last season, made huge strides in the team. Guys like Nicholas Batum, who in my opinion is still right now one of the top 50 players in the NBA.
Yeah, LaMarcus Aldridge too, baby.
That's what I was going to. LaMarcus Aldridge. Look at him, one of a more underrated post guard, post players in the league. And they got guys that will fight for that team, especially when they get C.J. McCollum back in January. I think that's going to be huge for that team, and I think they're going to make a late season push to get that number 8 spot. And I think the Trailblazers are well on their way to being a very good team. If they can get if they can get a big, like not even a big name free agent, but a nice free agent to accompany them, maybe after 5 spot in the next center, maybe an Al Horford. Woo! Watch out, son.
Yeah, watch them get LeBron in the offseason this year.
Yeah. 9th spot, that's where I'm going to put the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets deal the manageable Kenneth Faried during the season to someone else. They're trying to dump his contract, and I think they're going into a kind of a rebuilding stage. I lost some poor guys. Guys like Danilo Gallinari, they still have talent. Now, if they keep Kenneth Faried, they're going to get to a playoff spot. That's why I think they will deal Kenneth Faried. So I dropped them out of the playoffs. And the firing of George Carl or the removal baffled me. Whoever the coach is in there now is not going to be able to change anything. So I got them at 9.
Yeah.
I got the Lakers. And
can I say something about the Nuggets?
go ahead.
Like George Karl, he's one of those coaches that I would love to meet just because he's so legendary, and like I don't know, like it was like what Jerry Sloan was for the Jazz. He's the lifeline of that whole organization, and then whenever you pull that lifeline away, then you don't have the heart anymore. Like he was literally the heart of that organization because look what he did with them. You know, I mean, even though they didn't win a championship, I mean, he did take them to the playoffs like almost every single year. So, and he developed good players too. And it's just sad for somebody like that to get. That's like how whenever Lovie Smith got fired, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" You know, come on now.
Serious.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I mean, I thought you there. I just didn't stop and pause, but I agree with you taking away him. And I think that's the same one with kind of the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies still have the talent to overcome that. Lionel Hollins was the lifeblood of that team. And the reason he left is because he thought he resigned or left was because he thought he was going to get a better job elsewhere. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
And that's why he's at the ATV right now. I think the Lakers finish 10th. I think Kobe comes back with a vengeance. But the talent on that team now, next season, don't be surprised to see Mr. Anthony in a Lakers uniform if that goes to happen.
That'd be awesome.
I think that is a very good possibility. I just think Kobe doesn't have the talent right now. They need better talent, and that could happen next season. But Kobe will fight like he did last season just to keep this team afloat. This time won't be enough. They'll finish 10th. But like I said, next season could be the Lakers' off season. And it could end up being, they could not only have a Mamba, but they could have a King there as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. The King may be going to Houston too.
Oh, gross.
So.
I got number 11. I got the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now the Timberwolves are just like the Celtics in my predictions. They got a much higher ceiling because if they stay healthy, because you got perennial double-double with Kevin Love. If you haven't already, go check out that SportsCenter commercial with Kevin Love. It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. With the coffee, the 2 shots, the double-double, yeah.
Yep. Haven't a double-double? No. Stan, you need to get ready for your show. This is for my show.
It is like that whole highlight in 30 seconds or less.
Big show, going to the playoffs. Woo!
Yeah.
But, the guy's common guy, Ricky Rubio, if he stays healthy, he's a great point guard in the league. But they need to stay healthy to contend. They can. Will they? I don't think so. I just don't think the talent around them is good enough right now. But we'll see. So I got them at 11. 12, I got the Dallas Mavericks. They're another team I think that could be much better. But they're just getting old. Still a great player. But the talent around him that he wants is not going to be the same. I think the guy, Monte Ellis, one of those guys, looks good on paper, not good on the court. He shoots way too much, and his field goal percentages are very high as well. So, underrated pickup was Devin Harris. I do think another guy that will step up and play well for them this season if he gets time will be Shane Larkin out of Miami. Very good point guard. And he can shoot the ball, but I just don't think they have the certable talent now in Dallas.
Yeah.
13, I got the Sacramento Kings. They're another team that I think can have a much higher ceiling. I think Ben McLemore was a steal for that team. Huge pickup. They re-signed DeMarcus Cousins to a max contract. That's going to be huge for them. He's one of the better centers in the league. One of the only true centers left in the NBA. They got Grievous Vasquez, who was one of the more underrated point guards in the league. Now they're going to be starting for them. So, I mean, they lose Tyreke Evans, but they gain a lot more. So,
and they have Isaiah Thomas, too.
Say again?
They have Isaiah Thomas as well.
Oh, I know. Mr. Irrelevant from the draft, and he looks a little bit more relevant now, doesn't he?
Yep.
So I do think they're a year away or a year or two away from getting to get back in a playoff spot. But number 14, Utah Jazz. Now, I would have had them much higher, but the loss of Trey Burke to begin the season is painful. That's going to hinder them, and they'll struggle right out of the gate.
Nice pun there, by the way.
Say that again?
Nice pun there. The loss of Trey Burke is hurtful. That's terrible, Kyle. Come on now. Continue.
I do think that guys like Derek Favors, who I think is going to become, he's not a 4-year contract extension with him. I think he's going to be a phenomenal player in a couple of years. I think guys like he has cancer. He's going to be a phenomenal player. Gordon Hayward, they got guys out there that can play. But until they get Trey Burke back, it's not going to be really hunky-dory. So I have a finishing 14. And that brings me to the worst team in the West, and that would be Phoenix Suns. Much to the chagrin of yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry about the former hometown team, but they just don't have the talent. They don't have enough talent. They got more guys like Marksman and the Morris twins. I don't know. They could play better. I could be wrong. They got Eric Bledsoe, which is a massive pickup. I just don't know if they'll pan out. So Phoenix, not really a high grabber, so I still think they fall to 15th. And they have a shot at the number 1 pick next year through Wiggins.
Yeah.
But now, to the Western playoff prediction, I have the Spurs matching up with the Trailblazers. They take down the Trailblazers easily. Oklahoma City matching up with the Pelicans. Oklahoma City takes them down. Clippers and Rockets, very interesting series. The Clippers have more talent. Grizzlies and Warriors, 7-game series. The Warriors take it. Now the Warriors, and listen to me here, the Golden State Warriors will upset the Spurs to head to the Western Conference Finals.
Oh, wow.
And then the Clippers will beat the Oklahoma City Thunder to head there as well.
Okay.
Then the Clippers will take down the Warriors.
Yep. Clippers and Pacers.
Clippers and the Indiana Pacers. And I think the team here that has the more talent is going to be, you look at the matchups. Chris Paul against George Hill. Paul George, J.J. Redick, Jared Dudley, Danny Granger, Blake Griffin, David West, DeAndre Jordan, and Roy Hibbert. I like that matchup, especially with the benches. But I think the team here, with the better talent that comes away with it and plays better defense, takes the championship. Drum roll, please. The Indiana Pacers will be your NBA champions.
Yep. I could see that. I'd be freaking happy, too.
You look at the talent, Tyler.
Yeah.
It's giving them enough credit. Especially, they took the 7 games without Danny Granger. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals without Danny Granger.
Yeah, because of Hibbert. Hibbert's a beast. Give it to Hibbert. There's your game.
Nobody. And that's why they competed so well with Heat, because the Heat had no answer. They think they have an answer, and either Odin or Anderson, don't make me laugh. That's only if Odin can walk 3 steps without tearing his ACL.
Yeah, you have to think about it, too. If they hadn't blown that layup coverage on LeBron, they would have won that series.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
They won the first games.
Yeah, that game, it would have been gone. That game would have been over in 6. That series would have been over in 6.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But I just think they're hungry. That coach, Frank Vogel, incredible coach. He got them on the right track. Paul George will not win the MVP, but he'll get close. Now, LeBron will get close. I just think Chris Paul will win the MVP this year. I think he's got the weapons around him to do it now.
Yeah.
I just think that everybody's catching up with the Heat. The Heat are as explosive and as dynamic as the past. I think the Pacers catch up to them, and the Pacers, the city of Indianapolis will rally behind them, and all Pacers fans everywhere will get that gold flag going and walk that all the way to the NBA championship for that city, which will be amazing.
You better believe that I'll have my flag outside, flowing in the wind. I agree with you. I don't think Miami has the bench anymore. They only have Battier right now. And
Battier will be there, but he's not going to be there immediately.
He's only there until the game 7. So that was so disgusting. But moving on to Hell in a Cell. Any quick thoughts on Hell in a Cell?
Now, Hell in a Cell is the last two pay-per-views. The finishes have been 50. You had the fast count from Scott Armstrong at Night of Champions. And then you had Big Show just screwing everything up. So, but this pay-per-view showed me I'm going to make a good pay-per-view. Now, will they go with a mega happy ending with Brie winning the Divas Championship or Daniel winning the WWE Championship? I don't know. But we'll find out. But I think the thing, I think it's going to be talked about the most, Cena returning. I think Cena returns, wins the championship, but...
Cash in.
Yep.
Cross arm breaker cash in. I'm calling it right now.
You look at Cena hasn't been on TV, so people were like, where is he? He's going to show up at the most opportune time and take the World Heavyweight Championship and enter a feud with John Cena.
Yeah, and I think they could feud, honestly. That would be good matchups.
Yep. And, it'll give Sandow an opportunity to show what he's really made of, singles-wise.
Yeah.
So, CM Punk and Ryback versus Paul Heyman. So, inside the Hell in a Cell, might I add. I hope what happened, we saw in that tweet yesterday will happen, but likelihood of that happening won't happen. So.
Yeah, I don't think they'll actually eat somebody on live television. Because I don't know, they had a suck celebration, so.
I think Punk finally gets his hand on a Taurus and sends Jay back to Brokeback Mountain with Paul and Curtis. And so, speaking of Curtis, you are going to drop the Intercontinental Championship this Sunday.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Tyler?
Yeah.
I need you to tell me what. I need five. I need you five. You need to count to five with me. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5.
Five. Big E Langston. Can't wait to see. I'm glad he's turned face. What are your opinion? What's your opinion on Big E going face?
I like it. I think it suits him perfectly. It sets him up for a world title shot later on.
Mm-hmm.
You know who he'll be facing, right?
Who?
Wade Barrett.
I'd like to see that as well.
It won't happen, though.
Want them to push him. They need to. But I think Punk moves into a program, possibly with Daniel Bryan, for the WWE Championship.
That'd be good because those matches are perfect.
Oh, those matches would be outstanding. Moving on, Brie Bella versus AJ. Please retain AJ. Brie has gotten better in the ring, but do we really need to see her with the title and her sister Uberella?
Hey, I don't mind with that. I'm okay with that.
So we'll see about that. Before we get what's your take on every other match before we get to the WWE Championship match?
On what match?
Every other, all of them. Oh, I forgot to talk about one that we'll get to right now. Triple threat tag team match, which I think could be the match of the night. Uso, woo!
So.
Yeah, I'm looking for. I'm a big Uso fan. Cody Rhodes. I'm actually a big fan of all three of those tag teams: the Shield, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes, the Goldust, the Usos. What is your take on that match?
Usos win, but the only reason why Usos win is because they're gonna set up Cody to go on a world title shot with Damian and bring that storyline back. They're gonna do that. I can just feel it.
Unreal call. I like that call.
Yeah.
Punk versus Ryback and Heyman.
Punk wins easily. I'm gonna be going all crazy anyways, so Punk wins.
Sandow and Cena.
Sandow and who?
Cena.
Oh, isn't Alberto and Cena?
Alberto.
Cena wins and Alberto, and then screw you, Kyle. God, Cena wins and then Sandow cashes in on a cross arm breaker.
I can see it happening. So, but that is something I'm looking forward to as well. So it'll be interesting. But now we move on to the match that everybody has been exciting about, mostly because of the possible end of this feud. So But Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton inside Hell in a Cell with special guest referee Shawn Michaels. What do you think happened?
Michaels super kicks both of them. He takes the title for himself. Batista comes down. Batista bombs him through the ring. Takes the title himself. New title holder right there, Batista. I'm just playing. I think there'll be about 2 super kicks, and I think that Michaels will help Bryan win, and I'll set up Bryan and Orton one more time at TLC. Survivor Series, sorry. But Shawn Michaels and Triple H fight each other at Survivor Series as well.
Wow. I think there's a very good chance that Michaels may screw Bryan just to turn him bad guy and just continue the storyline, which everybody would be riled up and pissed because they want to finally see Bryan take his title and take it and hold his hand in victory. So, but we'll see. I think Bryan wins, and I think it's a mega happy for cheesy ending. He wins the title and then breaks it with the Divas title. Then they got on live television.
Hey, if only it was Lita, that'd be okay.
But the name you will hear on Sunday that could be a factor in that match is, well, it's the Big Show.
Yeah, I could see that too. Him coming out and laying everybody out and taking the title.
I think he could. I think Michael super kicks Bryan, and he's gonna have Orton win. And then Bryan kicks out. Big Show gets mad, comes out, decks Michael, decks Orton, and then because Bryan's still knocked out from the super kick, he drags Bryan, puts him on there, and Michaels counts. 1, 2, 3.
Big Show comes down in referee uniform, or Scott Armstrong comes back and counts it. How about that?
Well, we'd be here till next week for football talk if he was counting the match. So.
Yeah, that's true. 1. All right. Well, thank you for joining me on Football Talk,
problem.
Kyle. Yeah, nice NBA breakdown for us. It took 40 minutes.
No problem. I'll be here all week.
Oh.
I will only be here today.
Well, good. I'm not gonna talk to you anyways. God, jeez.
Follow me at Kyle30 on Twitter. Later, guys.
Wow, what a self-plug. Okay. See you, Kyle.
Shameless plug. Later.
See ya.
Go Cats tonight. Mississippi State. Go Cats.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, fine. It's all about the U on Saturday against Wake.
Yeah.
And then how about them Cowboys? That's all I have to say. Goodbye. SEC rules.
All right, bye. All right, well, after all the self-plugs and all the teams he's rooting for, I just want to tell you guys, thank you guys for listening to Football Talk. That's right, episode 9. Oh, yeah, of good old Football Talk on YouTube. Trying to turn this into a podcast here pretty soon. Hopefully I can get it out and doing that. I thank you guys for listening to always this again, as I'm just rambling on. But again, hope you guys enjoy this weekend of football and the other festivities in sports around the world. I know Champions League is going on in soccer, so I think Bayern Munich plays somebody this weekend. I think it's on prime time, maybe on NBC. I'm not sure. I think I saw that earlier. But if not, try to catch some soccer this weekend. Try to catch all the sports. World Series, Cardinals lost their first game. I'm sad. But they play again tonight. Hopefully Cardinals can split it in Boston, take it back home, and win 3 straight and win out the series. Don't see it happening, but I think they'll go back, and it will take 7 games to take down the Red Sox or the Cardinals either way. But again, just watch some football, watch some sports. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for listening. Bye.